She's spoken a bit in the last few weeks about Granite and the plan that he's on. Where do you feel he's at with that? Are we approaching the point now where we have just Granite back, hopefully to start, to finish games and to play normally?
Yeah, I think so. We are in a good place now. We didn't rush the process because we know that Granite in our squad can change the dynamic, the standards. In his position, we don't have the same profile if we need someone else. So it was key to take our time and to let him recover properly. And now I think it's done. Yeah.
You mentioned that Bertrand's injury. Hopefully he'll be back this season, but it sounds like it could potentially be tight. I mean, how big a blow is that? And are you minded to try and give Nilsson a little bit of consistency in that position? Because I think he maybe plays more off the left, but do you feel like you need to give someone a chance to help?
Yeah, it's an option, and he can't play alone in this position as well. So, because like I said just before, for one player in this position, it's hard to repeat. He's young, coming from another league. So the responsibility for just one player will be probably too much, but we'll see. So it's more about 2, 3, 4 players in this area.
You mentioned that Bertrand's injury. He's out of contract in the summer. At this stage, would you like to keep Bertrand around, or are you going to have to kind of wait and see how this injury develops?
Yeah, it's probably a bit early. I know that Berto and Flo had the conversation recently about this topic, so it's clear. It's not decided yet, and we'll wait a bit.
You mentioned there about the game last week. I think what was quite difficult for you was you mentioned that you can win or lose any game, but the performance and the intensity didn't feel as if maybe the players or the staff understood what a big game it was for the fans, how important it was. Do you think that's fair? Is it something that the group reflected on this week?
Yeah, to be fair, I didn't feel any complacency in the sessions before. It's often a sign when you feel that you don't train properly with the right intensity. So it wasn't the case. It's more about the moment, and when you have to fight and you have to face a different situation, because it was totally different. We didn't find the solution, and it's a shame because it was a big opportunity to go further.
Do you think that the players have understood this week in the aftermath how disappointed people around the club are, fans are?
I hope so, and they seem to understand, but they are young, and when you are young, the quality of young people as well. We switch on really quickly, and you go to the other event, but the mood of the whole squad wasn't really positive, so I think they understood. Yeah.
You mentioned there previously about the build in the team over a period of time. It's the first season in the Premier League. I suppose last weekend was maybe an example. I know very different conditions of the pitch, whereby you got a lot of the ball and struggled probably to make as many chances as you would have liked. Just want your thoughts on how you develop this team kind of moving forward, and certainly attacking-wise, adding those layers.
Yeah, we had a good conversation with Granite this week because he's really experienced, and we spoke about the different areas we are developing now. So out of possession, I think, for example, at Leeds and Bournemouth, we were excellent. The way we pressed the opponent, our mid block was good, our deep block was good, and we repeated this season this kind of performances out of possession. Our build-up is getting better as well, and the progression phase is clear when we have our key players, because it's always connected. But the attacking third is the most difficult, and here I think we've got good principles with our triangles, white triangles, for example, but they didn't play a lot together because we changed often the triangles of the left. For example, we had maybe Ray sometimes with Enzo and Noah. They started to play together. Then Ray went in the AFCON, Noah went in the AFCON, and we played with 2 other players. So this flow is hard to achieve, And when we change everything often, it's hard to find the right balance. And it was the same on the right side. We started maybe with Berto, mature player, Nordi, and could have been Habib, but Habib was injured a big part of the season. So we didn't have a great consistency in those relationships, and I think it helps. And after that, our striker is a good way also to go through or in behind. So I think with our three strikers, they have different style of play, so we struggle to find consistency as well. So it's ongoing process, and we want to get better, and we want to try to find solutions.
Just lastly for me, you mentioned Wilson was ill last weekend, which obviously hard to perform at his best, but I think he hasn't looked at his best in recent weeks. What's your feel on it? Do you think he's suffering from lack of confidence? Is he a little bit unsettled by the talk in January, potentially removed work? Because he hasn't looked like the Wilson we saw at the start of the season.
Yeah, I get that. We are on the same page with him, I think. It's clear. It's hard because last season he was really good, and was the main striker. And after that, the demand of the Premier League is high, and the competition is different, and you have to change, to evolve, to get better. And sometimes the learning curve is not linear. You would like to go like that, but it's often this dynamic. But I think he's still connected, but he struggles a bit, and we are here to support and to challenge him.
Do you think it's more confidence than having
it's often connected. I think for the goalkeepers and the strikers, I often say that those two positions are tough because it's about key moments. If you score, you change the dynamic. Even if you played well or bad before, you scored, and it changes your view on the game. And if you don't score for a long period, even if you were involved in the defensive tasks, which is the case for Wilson or Eli, for example, you worked hard but didn't score for their mood, for their confidence, it's a bit harder. Yeah.
You said a couple of weeks ago that Elijah was maybe struggled with the role of not playing as much as he'd have liked. As Wilson, has it been the same?
Yeah, it's the same idea. I think every professional player wants to play, and when they don't, it's hard to assume. Yeah.
There was that speculation in January. What does the future look like for Wilson? Will he be happy in the role he's had this season moving forward?
I don't think so, because he wants to play, but it's a bit early. The last part of the season will be important. We still have 9 games to play, many opportunities, and the last part will influence the assessment of the season, I think. So it's important to go all the way.
Just ask about Enzo again. Obviously, I spoke about him with Andy. Given how last season ended, and then the players you were able to bring in this summer because of obviously winning promotion, is he the most important signing you've made since you've been at the club?
Hard to say. An important one, for sure, because he's really smart and connected with our identity, and it's not easy to find a player like that. Able to play in different positions, always committed out of possession and in possession, is intelligent, so he connects really well with his teammates, so he's a really good player, I agree.
I remember at the back end of last season when he was playing really well, but you said he was only maybe 70 or 80% at his best. Where's he at now? Have we seen the very best of Enzo for Sunderland?
Is good, but he still has room for improvement, for sure, because he wants to learn, so anything is possible. Yeah.
Finally, just ask you about the importance of this next week, really. I think because of obviously last weekend and the disappointment there, but also the fact it's Newcastle next week, then it's a prolonged break afterwards. Then, if the week wasn't to plan, then you might be in a position where, as Keith said, there's kind of the fear of the season petering out. Just talk about the importance of these next 2 games before the break and following.
Yeah, it's always important. So we used to be in this situation now. When you win, the mood is really positive. When you lose, you want to speak about everything, which is normal, and we accept this position. So just step by step, we'll have Brighton, take the most of it, and after that we'll have another event, which is really important. We won the first one, we don't want to forget it, but we'll have another challenge, really interesting.
Thank you.
Hey Regis, just following on a little bit from Dom's question there. Prior to the Port Vale game, you sort of talked about the importance of the cup months ago in that cup, and obviously that's gone now. Does it kind of redefine your targets and ambitions for the rest of the season, given that that's not possible now?
It's a target is hard to define because the final stage, I think, will be a bit different, really intense, with different objectives for different clubs. So always unpredictable. So about us, we want to win every game if it's possible. We know that it won't be possible, but the mindset has to go in this way. So we'll play in Brighton, try to win 3 points, and if it's not possible, do your best and try to learn from this experience. Then go jump to Newcastle, and we'll see at the end.
There was a question earlier about kind of wingers maybe chipping in with goals a little bit. I think there's only Forest and Wolves who scored fewer goals than yourselves in the Premier League this season. Does the lack of goals concern you a little bit, especially coming into this kind of intense period towards the end of the season?
Yeah, it's obviously a concern because we want to improve every area, and this one is not the best one for sure. So it's not only about the attacking players; it's about the squad. So you can score on set pieces as well. But last week we didn't score, so we want to improve this area. The midfielders can score because they can shoot from out of the box, for example, and we didn't score with our midfielders recently. So it's a whole process, and it's not only one responsibility or one player, it's about the full squad.
And just lastly, the last time you played Brighton, you kind of had the first batch of AFCON players going away. Are you expecting something a bit different now with a few more reinforcements coming into this game? Yeah,
it will be a different game. Interesting. I think I like this squad. The style is really interesting. So we know their strength, and we'll have to manage it properly. Otherwise, they can kill you. They can damage you in different ways, and they are really impactful, attacking-wise. And their counter-press is really interesting. So manage this part, but try to find a solution to score as well. Yeah.
The number of questions you've had about the FA Cup already, is it an example of, are you getting a cultural education? Do you feel you're, as part of your time in England, you're learning more and more about something like that, an English culture? Yeah,
in a big club, you always have to win, and you have to assume the pressure. It's not only on the pitch, it's outside of the pitch as well. So with this young squad, they never experienced this situation before. So if you don't know it, it's difficult to anticipate it. So it's important in our journey to feel this, how upset is our fans, for example, because it's a new experience. Last year, when we lost 5 games in a row, we had the playoffs after, so they didn't complain a lot, which was fair. Now it's a bit different because we are Sunderland, and it shouldn't happen. It happened, so it is what it is. So digest it and leave it with the full feeling, because it's important to understand what it means for our fans.
And do you think, whenever you say things like that, do you think that the players understand that? Do you need to reinforce that message of what it means? Or
we'll see, because against Brighton will be another opportunity to show the desire, and it's more about the long time experience in different situations.
Because it's English culture is new for them as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
For
yeah.